Years ago, I would go to the mall on Saturday and visit the bookstore there. I love to read, and I still do love to read. Well, one day when I went into the bookstore, I was looking for a CD on the monks, the chanting monks. I had heard them on radio, and I thought that sounded pretty good, so I went in there to find that copy. So after I was looking for a little while, this sales lady came up to me and asked me if I was finding what I needed, and I said I would come in for a copy of the monks, chanting monks. And so she showed me where they were at, and then she asked me, she said, "Are you a religious person?" And I said, "No, I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person." And so she started to get tears in her eyes, and she said, "I just need to talk to somebody." She said, "My life is just terrible. It's in a shambles." So I asked her what was going on, and she said that her husband was going out 2 nights a week and didn't come home until like 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning. And when she asked him where he'd been, he just said, "Out. I've been out." Well, she suspected that he might have a girlfriend or something, and she would get mad, and it would start a fight, and she would start throwing things at him, and they would yell and scream at one another. And she said that her life was just a mess. She was going through a terrible time, and she asked me if I had any advice to give her, and I said, "Yeah, I have some advice to give you." I said, "Go to bed at 10 o'clock and go to sleep. And when your husband comes in at 12:30 or 1, if he wakes you up, just turn over and go back to sleep. Don't say anything to him about it. Just go on with your life." And she said, "Well, you know, I can't do that. I've got to find out." I said, "He's cheating on me probably." And I said, "Well, you can't really force him to tell you what he's doing if he don't want to do it. And all you're doing is hurting yourself. Your actions are what causes the fight to begin with. If you didn't say anything, if you were just in bed and you didn't care, there would be no fight." Well, she didn't like that idea. So I went on and about my business, and next Saturday when I went in the bookstore, she was there, and I talked to her a little while, and we had about the same conversation. I told her that she needed to give up confronting him because she couldn't change him. You can't force anyone to change. Now, you can give people your opinion, you can give them advice, you can give them suggestions, but you can't force them to do any of it. There's just no way you can do it. So there's no point in trying. And that's what I was telling her. So week after week, I would go in there and we would talk, and she'd tell me how she had another fight with him and threw a chair at him and stuff like that. And I'd tell her the same story. I said, "You know, you're hurting yourself. You're getting all riled up, and you're getting mad, and you're getting all out of sorts. And you know, it may be that he don't really care, or maybe he enjoys seeing you get mad at him. I don't know." I said, "But you can't change him with force." So after 2 or 3 more weeks of this same talking and the reasons why you can help people, but you can't force them to change, she didn't show up. She was gone one Saturday. And then she was gone the next Saturday. So I thought perhaps she'd quit her job and got a divorce or no telling what. So on the third Saturday I came in. I didn't go directly to the bookstore. I went around and done some of the other stuff that I do and come back by the bookstore on my way home, and there she was. And she had a big smile on her face, and I come up and talked to her, and she says, you know, she said about a week ago, said it hit me what you were talking about, that I was losing control of my life. And by not getting mad and doing that stuff, I was taking control of my life. And I was doing the things that I should do. And said at first it was kind of scary, because that I looked out there and I realized that it was just me and my actions of what I did as to how I would be able to go through life. And said it scared me for a while. But she said I finally realized that it was a method of taking control. In other words, of still losing control and getting mad and doing all that stuff. I was beginning to take control of my life. So he said the last couple of weeks I've done what you said. And she said, I don't care. I don't even care if he has a girlfriend or not. Said I went out, I found myself another job. Said I'll be starting that job on Monday. And said pays almost twice as much as this. And said if if he has another girlfriend he wants to go to her, fine. Said I'll be making enough money to take care of myself. Said I don't need him really. And she thanked me for showing her that little bit of wisdom that everyone eventually learns when they get older. At least most of us do. So that was kind of the end of that story. And the main thing about that story is that you won't be able to control your life as long as you're trying to control other people's lives. And as I said before, you can give advice, especially if it's asked, and you can give your opinion when it's asked, but you can't really change anybody, and you can't change this world. The only person you can change is yourself. So if you're doing something that is making you unhappy, like it was her, she was starting all those fights, then you should stop doing that. You should think about what you're doing and start gaining control of your life. Thank you for listening.